Hello and welcome to Wild Ferment Wednesday. This is going to be a holiday edition for Ferme Fatale. So today I'm making a probiotic mocktail using one of the Ferme Fatale ingredients called Mule Sriracha. And hi there. So if you've not heard of sriracha, sriracha is the world's first zero sugar probiotic mocktail. So some people may say, well, why would you drink mocktails? Isn't that like wearing a raincoat in the shower? And I would say, listen, there's a whole movement happening in society right now called the adult non-alcoholic movement. Hi, Gabby. Hi, Brian. Hi, Shay. Hi, Kevin. I hope you guys are having an amazing week. This Capricorn season, as we end these last few days of 2021, are a pivotal time. Hi, Heather. Thank you all that are joining. I'm so pleased to see so many familiar faces. And I just hope that you guys are, that you all are having a great week and you're not stressed out by all of the things that society or your family or whomever is telling you, hi Mark, that you have to do. The thing about the holidays is they can be an enjoyable time if you are coming from a place of authenticity. But if you're just trying to check boxes and follow tradition and be around people that you really don't like because, you feel like you have to and things like that, that's what can really make this time of year not feel so joyous. So I encourage you to do you. Hi, Dr. Irie. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've seen you. And that's what this whole non-alcoholic drink movement is even about. So, like I said, you might be wondering, why would I drink probiotic mocktails? I'm going to tell you why. The first reason is that alcohol is a poison. Ethanol is usually put in cocktails. The cocktails are usually designed to cover up ethanol because, it tastes like gasoline if you drink it straight. And that's why cocktails are oftentimes trying to mask the taste of ethanol. We decided to just go ahead and remove that anyway with the Ferme Fatale products, and we also decided to remove the sugar because oftentimes, even when someone becomes sober, they realize that they're still stuck with a sugar addiction. Hi, Lainey. Glad that you're here. So Ferme Fatale, we decided to launch a 21-day sugar challenge. Instead of an alcohol dry January challenge, we decided to take a different spin on it and say, all right, you already knocked out the alcohol. Let's see if you can do the sugar. And the reason why is because there's this pathogenic opportunistic yeast that whenever it gets out of control in our bodies, it's called candida. It can wreak havoc in our system and cause a lot of health problems. And you might not even know if you have candida. If you want to know, you can go to the Rate Your Gut page on fermefatale.com and take a free quiz. And at the end, it'll tell you if you might be dealing with some of those symptoms. So that's why I decided to release the 21-day free sugar challenge that starts January 1st. I'm very excited about it. We have a lot of people signed up from all over the country. And there will be live happy hours, high vibe happy hours. And thank you so much. I will be obviously offering plenty of sugar-free probiotic mocktails, but also how to really get into a different lifestyle, making lifestyle changes that you want to keep. Now, you may think, how could I ever live without sugar? Well, the thing about living a sugar-free or low-sugar diet is first the awareness that sugar oftentimes is put in everything and we don't even know it. It's like gluten and other additives that are put in products. If you really start to study labels, particularly dressings and other packaged products in the grocery store, it is unreal how much they use sugar. And the reason why they do it is because they know it's the gateway drug. They know that you're already addicted to it. And they know if they put it in their products that they can hook you. So the program, the challenge really is start to awaken you and develop an awareness in transforming your palate. Do you know that if your palate is conditioned to consume a lot of sugar, you will crave sweets, and you won't really like other flavors of food. So there's other flavors. There's sour, there's bitter, there's astringent. There's all these other flavors in our palate, but they tend to get all masked. It's similar to, how do I liken this? So I've been meditating since 1995, and I'll tell you a funny story. Whenever I went to my first 10-day silent meditation retreat in 1995, I was a rebel Italian with a bad attitude, and I had a lot of anger issues from childhood issues. And anyway, I end up at this center, and after 4 days, I had gone with my boyfriend, who became my husband, and he was not happy about being there, but his father had flown into Florida to support us on this 10-day silent meditation retreat. And I see Jason we're separated, men from women, no eye contact, no reading, no writing, obviously no talking for 10 days. And I see him, and he's giving me this look like, let's get the fuck out of here. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's freaking out. So I grab my things and I head towards our car, and he's like, I'm done, we're leaving. By the way, day 4 of a Vipassana is probably the most challenging day because they go from Anapana, teaching you how to focus on the rims of your nostrils, to then focusing on the entire body. So it's a very intense day 4. And I'm trying to remember why I told you this story. So we get out to the car, and the nun comes out, and she says, you can't leave. You're leaving in the middle of a mental surgery. And you guys are going to love this one. I say, we can't. What is this, a cult? I was like, we're Americans. We're Americans, and we can do whatever we want. And I remember the look on her face. She was like, oh my gosh, these people. And I ended up like flipping her off as we drove down this country road. And she kept saying, you're in the middle of a mental surgery. And we were like, this is a cult. So we drive down the road, and Jason says to me, I can't drive the car. I can't drive the car. And everything was just speeding by so quickly. We ended up pulling over a mile down the road from the retreat center and had to stay at a motel because we could not drive the car. The reason why I'm telling you this story has a lot to do with what happens to our palate. So with the bombardment of sugar, after a while, that's all you tend to gravitate to is sugar. And all of the other flavors are lost. And there's this whole other life of flavor that you're missing because you're focusing on the sugar. The same thing happened with us leaving the meditation. All of the stimulus from 19 years of our lives had been stripped from us. And we were literally, it's like we were tripping on acid. Why? Because we were feeling life. For the first time, we were reborn in 4 days of silence. So fasting and doing cleanses and removing certain things out of our lives, toxic people, changing our habits, all of these things provide growth and opportunity. So I encourage you to sign up for the 21-day sugar challenge if you dare, and eliminate certain things from your diet that perhaps you didn't think that you could do. Alcohol being one of them, obviously, because alcohol is liquid sugar. And you might just be surprised that you don't actually need those things that you thought that you had to have. I certainly learned from 10 days of silence. So I left but I went back to the headquarters in New Hampshire 6 months later because I realized I had missed out on an opportunity because I was leaving with him. And you know, that's the reason why you should always do things for you and not anyone else. And I learned a valuable lesson in that. But I was so fascinated with how is it possible that I could trip balls without any drugs just from being silent for 4 days. So I'm excited to tell you on January 27th, I'll be going down to Oaxaca, Mexico for my 10th 10-day silent meditation retreat all these years later. So it's been 35 years I think I've been meditating, and it's almost like doing my, you know, like my 10th marathon or like my first Iron Woman or whatever. And trust me, I'm not any holier or evolved than you are. Just because I did those doesn't really mean anything. It's more for me. I have learned a lot though, and I would like to think that I've transformed a lot from that young girl that flipped the nun off as we were blaring down the country road. All right, let's get to this probiotic mocktail, holiday style. Today I'm making a spiced pear mule. That's what I'm making. I'm not going to be serving it in a copper cup. I'm going to be serving it in this gorgeous vintage glassware. I also have 3 dehydrated pears. You could also use fresh pear for this recipe. I have 3 pieces of dried uncrystallized ginger. You could use any kind of ginger you like. You could use fresh, dried. I don't recommend crystallized or anything with a lot of sugar. Obviously, we're trying to eliminate that. I have 1 cinnamon stick. I have a bottle of Ferme Fatale Madame Mule Shrubbucha. And I have Cardamom Bitters by Fee Brothers. I love the Fee Brothers bitters so much because it doesn't have alcohol. And it's not because I'm necessarily an anti-alcohol evangelist. It's just I feel like the alcohol changes the taste, and I want it to be as pure as possible. So Fee Brothers uses glycerin to preserve rather than alcohol. So I have cardamom bitters, and I have vanilla extract that also is alcohol free and it's organic. I have got a lighter. I have some measuring tools, a paring knife, and my muddler. Everyone knows I love my muddler with the waffle little thing at the end. It's a little bat. This thing is great. And a mixing vessel. Okay, so let's get to it. I'm going to take 2 of the dried pears, and I'm just going to cut them up just a little bit before I put them into my mixing vessel. That'll help me to muddle them a little bit better. Again, you can use the fresh pear if you have it. So I'm also going to put 2 pieces of the dried ginger into the mixing vessel. Again, I'm going to cut them up just a little bit, so I don't want big chunks. I'm going to leave 1 dehydrated pear and 1 dehydrated ginger chunk there on the side. Whoops, I forgot something. Let's take that out because I'm going to go fancy on you guys. I'm going to go fancy. Check this out. Trying to be all mixology, like, boom! Let's light this. Let's light up this cinnamon stick. Good. Light up the cinnamon stick. Got my Palo Santo candle here. Happy winter solstice, everyone. And I'm just going to put that over top of my mixing vessel for a second and just infuse it with this amazing smell of not burnt cinnamon, but it's a warming smell and vibe that you get. So all right, that's good enough. Then I'm going to put all that stuff back in the mixing vessel. I'm going to open up the twist off top of the Madame Mule. It only took 2 years to get those twist off crown caps. Wow, look at that nice bubble. I'm going to add 3 splashes of the cardamom bitters by Fee Brothers into the mix. It might be 5. I love cardamom. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of your organic vanilla extract. It's a good thing I have strong grip. If you don't know, I did massage therapy. I was a massage therapist, a body worker for over 20 years. And if you don't know, your grip strength has a lot to do with how vital you are. So you want to make sure that you keep your hand strength throughout the course of your life. If you start to lose strength in your hand, you actually lose vitality in your body. Hi, John. So glad that you made it. So next, I'm going to take my little bat muddler and I'm going to muddle, muddle, muddle. Muddle, muddle, muddle. Cardamom is life. Absolutely. So whenever I was down in Guatemala last year, I discovered that Guatemala grows a lot of cardamom. And I made some amazing friends while I was down there on a 10-day silent meditation retreat over Christmas, New Year's last year. And one of them is somebody that sources cardamom. So whenever she came to visit last month, she brought me cacao and cardamom and chili from Guatemala. And I have been just so busy. Just got back from New York doing tastings and stuff. But one of the things I want to do in my alone reflective time during the holidays in the next week is make a big batch of chai or like a chocolate cacao chai with all the things that she brought me back from Guatemala. So I've got this pretty well muddled. Now it's okay if so if you don't like chunks in your drink, that's fine. You can strain this out. I particularly really like Sober Curious Reviews. I don't think I've ever met you before. I'm Julie, by the way, and I'm so glad you're here. What's your first name? Because if you're in LA, I share. I'm a good sharer. And I would love to make you some if you're close. So this is muddled well enough for me personally because, like I said, I mean, I'm Italian, so I go more for the culinary experience than the, perfect visual outcome of my drinks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to light up this cinnamon one more time. You can do this too. Get all fancy like a fancy mixologist. Lighting cinnamon sticks is a lot like, not in LA, in the Midwest. Well, perhaps I shall make that recipe live and then you can try to find the ingredients. But I'm going to do what I did before with the mixing vessel and smoke up this vintage glassware. Oh, it smells so good. The burning cinnamon. I really like the way it smells. So I'm sort of like infusing this glass, right? Midwest represent. That's right, John. Where in the Midwest, Emily? I'm from Pennsylvania. And all right, that's enough infusion. We're going to add the ingredients here from the muddled mixing vessel into the glass. You'll notice I don't use a lot of ice in my drinks. I don't like to dilute things. This is almost like a spiced pear chutney. Almost. I'm going to show you what it looks like. You can see in the glass, it's a cornucopia of amazingness. What am I going to do? I'm going to take this dehydrated pear. I'm going to put a slit in it like so. Just about halfway down. I'm going to do the same thing with my remaining dried ginger. And I've got my cinnamon stick. Just going to knock off any kind of ash. And I'm going to set those three things to the side because that's what I'm going to use to garnish. Then I'm going to pour the zero sugar shrub bucha, which is a ginger and lime shrub, a vinegar-based fruit juice that we age for months and months and months. That's how we get all the sugar out of it. Mixed with fermented tea, kombucha. Are you worried about the Alcohol content, you don't need to be. This is way under 0.05. It's a non-alcoholic drink. We have babies. Minnesota, nice. Well, Emily, you are probably a tough woman living out there in Minnesota, because I know that's a place where it gets cold. So yeah, warming drinks. This might be a cold drink, but I'll tell you, with these elements of cardamom and spice, cinnamon and vanilla, it makes it very warming. So I'm just gonna mix it up with my knife, because that's how I roll. Adding cinnamon smoke for flavor sounds delicious. Yes, it's the first time I did it, actually. And you know what? I can smell it in my vintage glassware. So what I'm gonna do is put the ginger on the rim, like so, with my pear on the rim. And then I'm gonna take this cinnamon stick and I'm gonna drop it down into the drink. And I'm gonna show you. Can you see? You love winter. Yeah, it has been warm out there, but it's been cold here. Adding cinnamon smoke for flavor, yes. Isn't that gorgeous though? It's a spiced mule. A spiced pear mule. Now, I thought about adding a lime slice to this. Hi, Brian. Smoked cinnamon spice slide. We can always count on Brian to come up with great names for the drinks. Will you save this and post it? Well, you know what I was thinking about doing? I can do that for sure. I'll take a photo and then I'll put the recipe on the story afterwards. Does that sound like a good plan? If you've noticed, I generally put the recipes for the Dirty Dozen on the following Mocktail Monday. So if you've noticed, I have a structure for the grid. Every Monday, there's either a photo of the drink that I made the previous Wednesday using the Dirty Dozen ingredient, or I'm doing education about the Femme Fatale Dirty Dozen. What I've noticed is I've neglected sharing the recipes using the Femme Fatale products with you. So now I'm a one-woman show, so I'm learning. But why don't I do this? How about I take a sip and tell you if it's any good first. Oh, so flavorful. So flavorful. And I want to share with you one of my favorite things to do. So the reason why I like to put little things on the side like this isn't necessarily for the aesthetic appeal. It's because I like to have side nosh, is what I call it. This is a very Italian thing. I like to take a nibble and take a sip. I just got a chunk of that pear chutney that I made. Oh my goodness, this is like a meal. That's the thing, guys. We don't need alcoholic drinks. We need good tasting drinks. That's what we need. Hello. If you're just joining, I just made a probiotic pear spiced mule using the Femme Fatale kombucha called Madame Mule. The great thing about using it as a primary base ingredient is it's 0 sugar. So the other ingredients that I put in the drink that have a little bit of sugar, I can justify it, you know? So on the challenge, obviously I wouldn't be chewing on dried fruit and such, because that's the whole point of the challenge, is to eliminate candida and pathogenic. Yeah, this is called a spiced pear mule. Exactly, Brian. I kind of had a name in mind for this already today, and I thought about should I present it in a copper cup, and I was like, no, I really think it deserves some vintage glassware so I could see my cinnamon stick floating in there, and you know, I mean, you can do whatever you want. If you want to make it in a copper cup for your friends or your family or for yourself, you can choose whatever presentation you'd like. But I highly suggest having a little bit of the side nosh on the side. Yeah, the glass is better because you can see it, right? But there's many ways to do things. Isn't that gorgeous? I will post it on story whenever we wrap here, and hopefully you'll feel inspired to get yourself some Femme Fatale Madame Mule Shrub Bucha. Look how cute these little bottles are. The reason why I put the product in glass is because it's a lot more sustainable. If you've noticed, a lot of other companies are canning. They're putting all of their drinks in cans. Not nearly as sustainable as glass. And everyone's doing that. It's kind of boring, right? And the other thing is everyone's forced carbonating. Our product is naturally bubbly. Naturally bubbly because of the bacteria and the yeast that eat the sugar in the bottle and create bubbles. Isn't that amazing? It's a superior way of getting your bubbles, I assure you. Forced carbonation deteriorates gut lining. Sorry, friends. If you're chugging LaCroix, no bueno. You hear me say that a lot, but seriously, cut back or eliminate forced carbonated beverages from your diet. It's no good for your gut. So if you're somebody that deals with bloating and inflammation and other things, and you're drinking a lot of forced carb drinks, that could be one of the reasons why you're dealing with those issues. So, as you begin to heal, you can have things like a Perrier every once in a while. Thanks for joining, John. And thanks everyone for being here today on this holiday edition of Wild Ferment Wednesday, where we had the probiotic spiced pear mule. I'll post this in story. Enjoy the rest of your week and the days leading up to the end of 2021. Here we are in Capricorn season. And later tonight, I'll be showing you my nighttime routine. So stay tuned, and thank you all for being here. Really appreciate your presence. It wouldn't be anything without you. Happy holidays, everybody. I can't play any music or I'll get shut down. But Jingle Bell Rock, yeah. Can make our own music, right? DM me if you have any questions. I'll post this in story for you. Thanks everyone for being here.